Hey guys, Ashley here. This is week 13, and week 13 is all about the flood. And whenever we hear flood or the flood's coming, we immediately think of
Noah's Ark, Genesis chapters 6 through 9.
After Adam and Eve left the garden, many people were born. The people kept doing bad things, and they forgot about God. Except Noah. Noah loved God. God was sad that everyone but Noah forgot about him. He told Noah about his plan to start over.
Make yourself an ark,
God said.
Here's how.
So Noah and his family began working on the ark. When it was done, God said,
Take your family and 2 of every animal into the ark.
Animals creeped, crawled, hopped, and galloped onto Noah's new boat. After everyone was inside, the rain began to fall, and fall, and fall. The ark rocked this way and that way on the rising water. Finally, the rain stopped. Water covered everything. Everyone inside the ark was safe. Noah and his family were very happy.
well, that's a pretty picture. But what if Noah and his family looked a little bit more like this?
Where are you going? Fuck. No, Frank! Frank! Frank. God damn it, Frank.
Where is it?
We gotta destroy it, Frank.
Where the hell
I
is
hid
it?
it.
Where?
You're lucky that it was just Grandpa Bill. What if it had been the cops? Stop, Frank.
Give it back.
You tried to hide it in Franny's crib.
Give me the goddamn meth.
Or what?
Give it back.
Yikes. So in our readings this week, we have 2 essays. One is by JJ Cohen, and it is Noah's Archive. And it's actually through JJ Cohen that I was inspired to look up the little Noah's Arks, because that's what he uses throughout this to talk about our reluctance for climate change. He says that if we better understood the many complexities of the Noah story, we would not be so resigned to climate change. For this lovely tale of a rainbow redemption waiting for us is doing nothing more than placating us into acceptance. After seeing the destruction of Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, the company or artist group GMJ were inspired and created images of what London would look like in a drowned world. So here we have London becomes Venice. And viewing these pictures through what is called the God trick, the setting seems serenely beautiful, much like how the story of Noah can be comforting. However, as Cohen repeatedly states throughout this article, he says it multiple times, in the wake of catastrophe, suffering is unequally distributed. Cohen believed that had Noah simply looked down, maybe he might have come to a fuller, more sober knowledge of those men, women, children, and animals left to die in the water. So how do we as a universal community look down? How do we, as Cohen says, turn down the catastrophe? I believe we can find that answer in Roy Scranton's article, Learning How to Die in the Anthropocene. So here is Roy Scranton. Roy Scranton served in the United States Army from 2002 through 2006, after which he earned his PhD in English from Princeton. While enlisted, Dr. Scranton was stationed in Iraq, seeing firsthand an almost apocalyptical scene of destruction in Baghdad. The next time he would see such a scene would be much closer to home. And this is actually where our two authors meet. And this is going to be in New Orleans because of witnessing what Dr. Scranton saw in New Orleans reminded him so vividly of scenes that he was seeing in Baghdad. After witnessing this event, both authors believe that we're in denial and not taking the hard but necessary steps needed to save our future. So how do we survive the millennium? We do this, Dr. Scranton says, by knowing that we are already dead. And for this, Dr. Scranton calls upon Yamamoto Tsutomu. I hope I said that okay. This was a samurai who died in 1719. He actually died as a monk. And he wrote a manual called the Hagakure. And Tsutomu says that meditation on inevitable death should be performed daily. So that seems like a pretty harsh way to be about, I would say. Like, you typically don't want to wake up in the morning and be like, how is it going to go down for me today? Today's when I just end. So here is just a roundtable talk discussing meditation.
Yeah, because the traffic was really mad yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's hear what we found as today's quote. Meditation on inevitable death should be performed daily. Every day, one should meditate on being carried away by surging waves, falling from 1,000-foot cliff, dying of disease. That's from Yamamoto Tsutomu.
In as much as I get the whole idea behind the quote,
Meditating.
I don't think that I want to think about falling from a cliff every day.
Or being carried by a surging wave.
That's not how I want to go.
I think what the
But I get the point. I get
what he
the
was
general
just trying to say
point.
is basically that we should think about the fact that one day we
Who
will
would
all
die?
die
Hey, you should have just said
And
it like that.
expect it.
and expect it, and it can be any time.
And it
But you
can be
know,
anything also.
every year we scream Happy New Year, Happy New Year. One of those days in that new year, somebody's going to go.
In fact, today,
And that is exactly what Dr. Scranton did. Every morning, he would imagine the multitude of ways he could be killed. And by envisioning and living his death every day, Scranton was able to live freely while he was in overseas. So, and that's how we survive into the next millennium, as Dr. Scranton says, by understanding that this civilization is already dead. The sooner we confront this problem, the sooner we realize there's nothing we can do to save ourselves. The sooner we can get down to the hard work of adapting with mortal humility to our new reality. Thanks, guys.